Hello everyone, Tywon here, and we're here to do a test video demonstrating how to properly use H2Blue, which is a titration reagent used to measure the dissolved hydrogen concentration of water. In this video, we're just going to go over some basic steps in how H2Hubb generally tests dissolved hydrogen concentration in water, and then it's going to be in the description of this video. We'll actually have resources going back to the manufacturer, giving even more resources and steps on how to do this properly. So first, what you need is some hydrogen water, of course, and then your H2Blue. And so we're going to go ahead and take it out the package. And they do provide a stir. You can either use the stir or the stirring utensil that is provided with H2Blue, or you can do the method that I use, which takes a little bit more practice and a little bit more technique to do it properly, but it's called the swirl, and is where you actually lightly swirl the test sample to actually make sure that H2Blue is actually reacting with the hydrogen that's actually within the sample. Okay, before we actually get going, I think it's very important to understand how to properly use H2Blue. And we created an actual video on one of our sister channels called H2 Minutes. And in H2 Minutes, I cover many bases on how to properly use H2Blue and inaccurate ways of how to use H2Blue, which will skew your readings completely. And you want to be accurate when it comes to measuring dissolved hydrogen gas within water. It's not a very soluble gas. It's quite fragile in water. Before you actually begin, what you want to do is make sure you have all your materials ready. And the first thing you want to do is go ahead and open up H2Blue. Get your beaker ready, and then you want to get your test sample. It's very important to probably do your test actual on some paper or an old rag or towel, because H2Blue contains methylene blue, which can stain. So it's probably best to do that. And then when you're actually grabbing your sample, here I got some hydrogen water from one of our hydrogen water generators here, and when you're grabbing your sample, you do not want to pour straight this way. You want to make sure you have it tilted to an angle. That way that the hydrogen water can flow easily into the beaker and not splash. If you're doing it this way, it can splash. So you want to go ahead and get your 6 milliliters is what you want to get. Now the meniscus of the water needs to be above 6 milliliters. So that's good. If not, then it can skew your results. And then the way that I like to do it is I like to actually put the bottle in the beaker some. That way you minimize splashing, and then I do what's called the loaded drop method. And if you're pretty comfortable with understanding where the dissolved hydrogen concentration of your water is, you can start off with what they claim to be. Then you can start adding drops, multiple drops at a time, and then once you start to get closer to the titration endpoint, the water will actually remain blue when you actually hit the titration endpoint. But you can add these drops, and it'll react with the sample and turn clear if there is dissolved hydrogen gas within the water. And so with the loaded drop method, you can continue to add a few drops at a time, and then go ahead and agitate the sample, or with your stir or with the swirl method, until you reach the titration endpoint. And then you can actually do the calculation to see how many drops were cleared to actually calculate how much hydrogen gas is dissolved into the water. So each drop counts as 0.1 milligrams per liter. And typically what you would want to do is not do all this explaining when you're doing your sample. You want to move pretty quickly. So I'll go ahead and start doing the test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 1 ppm, or 1 milligram per liter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 1.6. 1. It'll be 1.7. So that is 1.7 milligrams per liter, or ppm, of hydrogen gas that would be within this water. Now that is generally how we go about testing with H2Blue, and kind of gives you a demonstration of how you would want to use it. Like I said before, this is a recommended product of ours, and is one of our favorite tools to use when it comes to measuring dissolved hydrogen concentration within water. If you want to know more about H2Blue, you can visit H2 Minutes, and like I said, we made a video covering that. And then you can also come to H2Hubb. We actually have calculators that will help you be able to convert your H2 concentration into actual milligrams that might be ingested based upon the actual concentration that you might measure with H2Blue. So you can catch us next time at the H2Hubb.